Okay, so these are going to be the top 10 questions I get about goth. Okay, number 1, are goths Satanists? Well, there is no religion tied to the goth subculture. There are goths of all religions: Satanist, Christian, Muslim, pagan, atheist, everything. So yeah, there are some Satanists. But not all goths are Satanists. Out of all the religions, paganism is the most common. Also, Satanism isn't even an evil or bad religion, so I would see that as ever being a problem in any way. So why would that even be an issue? The second question I get is, are you a vampire? Do you believe you're a vampire? Ugh. Okay, the vast majority of goths do not believe they are vampires. And the vast majority are not vampires. We just like the dark things in the clothing, and we like our skin pale. Most of us like our skin pale anyway. Also, not all real vampires are goths. Yes, there is clinical vampirism, but many of them are not goths. Some of them are, but many of them aren't. And then, of course, you also have the vampire subculture. Most of them are not vampires either. They just like to dress like vampires from the movies. You know, dark clothing, capes, thingies, that sort of stuff. Now, 3. Is it just a phase? This is probably the one most goths have heard. No. That's the short answer. For something to be a phase, at least more than 50% have to grow out of it. With goths, around 80% remain goth for the rest of their lives, or well until they're like 80s, 90s-ish. Goth being a phase is one of the many false stereotypes about goths, which is closely tied to the also false stereotype that goth is a teenager thing. Most goths are not teenagers. Sorry to break the news to you, most of us are in our 20s, or 30s, or 40s. 4. Are you all depressed? No. Goths are actually some of the more happy and pleasant people you can be around. The rates of depression amongst goths is generally lower than the rates of depression amongst normal people. So, no, we are not all depressed. Are goths the same thing as emos? This is another one of the more common ones people seem to hear. No. Goth is a full-blown subculture with conventions to go to, stores made specifically for us, our own bars, etc., etc., etc. Emo, on the other hand, pretty much doesn't. Emo only really has fashion and music. While goth, as I said before, we've got dancing, we have a specific type of dancing basically, clubs, fashion, stores, books, art, conventions, etc. Emos also tend to be children for the most part. They're usually teenagers. And with the whole phase thing, yeah, most emos do not stay emo. I have never met an emo that was an adult, so... Meanwhile, goths are almost always adults. So yeah, emo, goth, completely not the same thing. And that's just on the subculture age level. The fashion is also entirely different. Wearing neon-colored lightning bolts and dyeing your hair in a sideways mohawk, that's not goth thing. Converse, that stuff, it's not goth. Sorry. So yeah, we're very, 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 very different. Okay, number 6. Why do you dress goth? Of course, this is one of the more common ones, anyone who dresses overly goth. Now, if you're a goth who doesn't wear a lot of gothy clothing, you probably don't get this question all that much. But as someone who does wear a lot of really gothy clothing, I get this question a lot. So, it's pretty simple. I like the look, it fits my personality, and it's what I'm comfortable in. That's basically it. I like the way I look in it. It's comfy. It's great. Number 7. Isn't it all for attention? No. The vast majority of goths don't give two hair bat shits about attention. We do not care if others notice us or what they think about us. We do this because we like it, not because others like it or dislike it for that matter. We do it because it is who we are. It's the same reason that you choose to sleep in black pajamas instead of blue ones, or pink booty shorts instead of, like, I don't know, nothing. It's because that's what you like to wear in bed, and that's what you're comfortable sleeping in. Number 8. How can you get a job looking like that? This is usually a concern of parents. Simple. An employer cannot refuse to hire you based on your belonging to a subculture. They cannot do that to anyone, regardless of their subculture, religion, race, or gender. You know why? That's considered discrimination and prejudice. So basically, not hiring someone because they are a goth would be just as bad as not hiring someone because they're wearing a turban. You can't do that. So we can get jobs just as easily as anyone else with equal qualifications for said job. Equal. 9. Are all goths female, and are all male goths gay? No. If all the goths were female, that would be ridiculous and sort of strange. There are many male goths, and no, most of them are not gay. The reason why there does tend to be a lot more not straight people in the goth subculture is because goth is much more accepting, which means coming out as a goth is much easier than coming out as someone who is not a goth or metalhead or punk, etc. So thusly, they all tend to come out. Hey, I'm gay. Cool. Asexual, pansexual, polysexual, woohoo! We're all crazy things up in here, and we're all okay with it. That's part of the goth subculture. We're okay with things that do not harm anyone or anything, and that includes yourself. Seriously, that includes yourself. And number 10, do you all cut yourself? Basically, no. Cutting is frowned upon in the subculture. However, unlike lots of other people, we don't make fun of people who cut themselves. We try to help them, and try to get them to others that can help them. Because remember what I said earlier, we're okay with anything as long as it doesn't hurt anyone, anything, or yourself. And cutting does hurt yourself. That is kind of the point for people who cut themselves, is to hurt themselves, to feel pain, to use that pain to block out whatever sadness is inside of them. And of course, lots of people who cut also do it to try and get attention. And when I say attention, I don't mean somebody come and baby me. No, when I say attention, I mean somebody come here and help me. It's not like, baby me more, spend more money on me. No, it's get me help. It's a massive cry for help me. Help me. What's the best way to get help? Get attention. Get attention. So no. The vast majority of goths do not cut themselves. But unlike the rest of the world, we also don't hate cutters. So yeah, there you go.